Hey guys, welcome back to the Cyrus Fiene Team channel. I'm Cyrus, and today we are in one of my favorite neighborhoods, Columbia City. Right now, I'm standing at Columbia Park, which is at the very start of the Columbia City neighborhood. It's on the cross streets of South Alaska Street and Martin Luther King Way. Columbia Park seamlessly merges with Columbia City. Right behind me is actually the library, which is my favorite building in Columbia City. I just popped in there for just a couple minutes and chatted with the librarian, and she was super helpful. Next to that, we have PCC, and right behind the PCC is where they actually host the farmers market. Of course, we're gonna get into housing in this video in Columbia City, but it's kind of awesome that right behind me, you actually have homes backing up right to Columbia Park. So just imagine having Columbia Park, PCC, and the library basically be in your backyard. So a little history on Columbia City. The reason it's called Columbia City is because it was actually its own city in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And you'll see a lot of the housing stock kind of reflect that, like the ones behind me. In 1907, the city of Seattle annexed Columbia City, and it joined Columbia City along with Ballard and Ravenna and West Seattle, all in 1907 to create this larger Seattle. So how can we talk about Columbia City and not talk about the light rail? You guys know how much of a fan of light rail I am. Don't forget, check out my East Link light rail video that I did talking about the East Side expansion. But talking about light rail in Columbia City, ever since light rail has gone in here, it has been a huge help to the community. Jen actually used to live in Columbia City, and she would take the light rail to the Mariners game and be at the stadiums in about 12 minutes. So from Columbia City, you could be downtown in about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the stop. And of course, when the East Link light rail officially opens across I-90, you can actually go straight from Columbia City to Bellevue in no time. Since the addition of light rail in Columbia City, the investment in this area has gone up immensely. As a result, property values have really increased over the last few years, which has also translated into a lot of new restaurants and businesses coming to Columbia City. Of course, another bonus of having the light rail right here in Columbia City, you can get to the airport in just about 35 minutes. You can't talk about Columbia City without mentioning Seward Park. Seward Park is one of the best parks in all of Seattle. It's only about 1.5 miles away from downtown Columbia City, so about a 7-minute drive. And it is particularly famous because it has the best of what Seattle has to offer. It has an old growth forest, which is over 300 acres of park, and then it's surrounded by Lake Washington and the fresh water, so you could go swimming as well. You could bring your kids to play in the kids' play area. You can have picnics with lots of covered lodging as well. They even have a few tennis courts. Seward Park really has something for everyone. It's an amazing park. You know, you come here every time and it's so large, you discover something new every time. Right now, I'm standing right off of Rainier Avenue, which cuts through the heart of Columbia City. It's known for its historic buildings and diversity in its restaurants. Some of the more well-known restaurants in Columbia City are Geraldine's Counter, Island Soul, Wabi Sabi Sushi, Tuta Bella, Pagliacci's, and of course Molly Moon's Ice Cream, Olympic Coffee, and Coffeeholic Coffee Shop. Those are two excellent coffee spots in Columbia City as well. One of the reasons I really love Columbia City is because it really has its own distinct personality. Everyone is so friendly and giving in this community. Jen actually used to live in Columbia City, as I mentioned earlier, and when she was on the neighborhood group and the Buy Nothing group, Everyone was so supportive and helpful and always trying to help out wherever they could. I really encourage you to check out downtown Columbia City. There's just so much to do down here, and not to mention the bars and the pubs in this area. You could do your own bar crawl right here in Columbia City. Let's dive into Columbia City's real estate scene. The neighborhood has a population of about 15,000 with a long and diverse history stemming from the 1890s. The housing reflects this, from craftsman-style homes to bungalows and Victorian style from the days of early Seattle housing. Of course, with the light rail expansion and the overall population boom in Seattle, we have seen a lot of new housing with lots of townhouses and new Northwest contemporary single-family homes. Of course, there are condos, but they are quite rare in Columbia City, with far fewer condo communities compared to other Seattle neighborhoods. They generally have a townhouse-style feel rather than a multi-story building like we normally see. In 2023, median single-family home prices hit around $850,000, with townhomes at around $804,000 and condos at around $550,000 to $600,000. Thanks for joining me on this tour of Columbia City. I hope you learned a lot about Columbia City and it's inspired you to come check it out. As always, if you have interest in seeing any properties here in Columbia City, or you want to sell your property here in Columbia City, our team is always available to help. Make sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.